Hey guys, I wanted to do a video and a review on the HFE30 sawmill. As you can see, we've already opened up this beech log. It's got a very rough bark on it. Kind of interesting to see what kind of pattern it's going to have. This log will be over 10,000 board feet that we've sawn on this. You see I got my bug net on. The black flies are horrible. So we're going to go ahead and saw this log, and then we're going to do a review on the HFE30 sawmill and my thoughts on it after 10,000 board feet of lumber sawn. Nothing knocks the snot out of these blades like a little bit of dirt, so we try to get it all off the log. Okay guys, I was kind of excited about sawing this log up. Like I said, it's a beech tree. If you look at the bark has got a real rough texture, like it's diseased or something. And I was kind of anxious to get into the tree. I wanted to see what the grain looks like. It's got a beautiful grain in it. Got a little bit of spalting right here. But all in all, I think it's a really pretty wood. I don't know what beech could be used for, but I'll put it on the market and see what happens. Nobody buys it, I'll use it for something myself. Okay, let's talk about the mill. Okay guys, this is a HUD-SON HFE30 homesteader. I purchased this mill earlier this year. I purchased it right from HUD-SON. I went right to their factory. And I got to tell you, the people at HUD-SON are absolutely wonderful people to deal with. They're friendly, they're informative. You ask questions, they answer your questions readily. And quite frankly, the mill is built like a tank. The track, 3x3 1/4-inch angle iron. It's stout. It's stout track. The wheels, stout wheels, everything about the mill, the way it's built, I've been happy with it. Like I said, I have sawn 10,000 board feet. You can see shed, repaired the garage, built this shed, built the wood shed, and there's another shed in the back here. And we've sawn multiple hardwood logs. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to address is the blades. Now, I purchased a box of blades. The saw came with a blade in it. I am now on my 4th blade, and quite frankly, the first 3 blades I went through was my fault. The blades don't like hitting the knees. That kind of takes teeth off of them. They don't like nails. They don't like dirt. And they don't like backing up into a cant when you haven't got the mill head high enough. And that knocks the blade off really quick. And of course then the blade hits the shrouds and that dulls it too. So anyway, like I said, I'm on my 4th blade, but I don't think that's bad for the amount of wood that I've sawn and the stupid things that I've done. It's got a 14 or 13.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. It seems to have plenty of power. I haven't had any problem with it. It starts right up. When it was cold out, I had a little problems with it, but it was also a new engine. Now that it's broke in, it's doing pretty good. The mill's got 19-inch wheels on it, so that gives me a really deep throat between here and the blade. And the one thing I really liked about this mill is it'll open up here 33 inches. That would allow me to cut a countertop or a bar top if somebody so wanted one. And I'm kind of looking for doing specialty things for people to make a living off this mill after I retire. Okay, now here's some of the things I've done. I built track cleaners. Pretty simple to do. This is a piece of rubber, stiff rubber, and I made a lever and a spring, and I just screwed it right here. And what that does is it scrapes the track, keeps it clean, keeps the wheel clean, because if you don't have track scrapers on there, this wheel packs up with sawdust really quick. And of course I put one on the back too, and these seem to work really well. So here's some of the things about the mill I did not like and I changed. Now this is a scale that they put on the mill. It's very easy to use if you use the instruction. If you read the instructions, it's very easy to use. This scale right here, this is 4/4 right here. So each mark will give you an actual inch on the board. 5/4. Each mark, of course, will give you 1.25 inches. 6 is 1.5 inches, and 8, of course, is 2 inches. And then you got your regular scale here. This is your ruler. So if you want to figure out how wide your boards are going to be, like when you're cutting your can, if you cut your can at 9 inches in width, your boards are going to be 9 inches wide. Now, the only thing I did not like about this setup is they use plexiglass for a sight glass. The plexiglass, this vibrates something terrible sometimes when the mill's running. I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. I may glue a foam block between the frame here and this piece of angle iron. It's mounted down here low, but it does vibrate something terrible sometimes, and you have to put your hand on it so you can read the scale. But anyway, it had a plexiglass sight glass. It's probably 1/4 inch thick plexiglass, but it broke off. It snapped where the 2 bolts go through right here. Now, if you know anything about plexiglass is not a very strong glass. It scratches easy. It breaks easy. So I replaced it with Lexan. This is Lexan. I had some left over from my airplane days, using it for the windows in the airplane. Lexan is basically bulletproof. You can fold it in half. You can twist it. You can turn it. You can bend it. It won't break. It won't crack. And I made a new sight glass using the old one as a template for out of Lexan. And that seems to work out really well. So the scale is very simple. Like I said, very simple to read the scale and very fast to use. But like me, you have to read the instructions so that you can understand how it works. Me, I tried to do it first and didn't understand it, and I ended up going back and reading the instructions. Okay, guys, on to the next thing I changed. Now, number one is the mill has to be blocked up level. If you had a concrete pad to lay it on, that's fine. I don't. And eventually I'm going to make the mill so I can put it on that trailer and take it off that trailer and put it back in here. But I want the availability of it being portable. The one thing I did have problems with was leveling it. And so what I did to cure that problem is the angle iron, especially where the angle iron doubles up here on each section of the track where I have the blocks, I built a pad, adjustable pad. I've actually got 2 inches of adjustment on each side on the very first part of the track there, and where the sections go together here. And I've done the same thing all the way down here, here. You get the idea. So I put adjustment pads on it where I can fine tune it. Like I said, I have 2 inches adjustment on each one of these, and there's a flat pad on the bottom of it. I built those myself. I drilled holes through the track and tapped it for the 1/2 inch bolt that goes through. Now the second thing that I've done, these dogs, quite frankly, were the biggest pain in the ass I ever dealt with. And the problem with these dogs is they're built out of square tubing here. And when you raise the knee up, the log dog was also on square tubing, and that came up with the knee. Just like that. They stayed together all the time. So when I'm rolling a log onto the mill, and I get onto the mill, I can't stand the knee up to stop the log from rolling, and it has rolled right off the other side. Now they have these little stops right here for when you're cutting a cant, and they work fine for a cant, but they won't stop a log from rolling. So what I did was I went down to the hardware store, found a piece of pipe that just barely fits over this, and I cut the square tubing off and I welded these round pipes on here. So now the dogs are free from the knees. So I can set the knees up, roll the log onto the mill, hits the knee, and then I can put the knee down where it needs to go, and the log dog can be put wherever I want. Now with the dog and the knee being together, one of the problems I ran into was that when I had a square cant that wasn't quite square yet, I'd put the knee up and put it partially down like this so the blade wouldn't hit it, and then the log dog would dog the log against the knee right here, and what it was doing was leaving a gap right here, so I was cutting wood that was diamond on the edge. It was, both edges were I call it diamond. The board looked like it was diamond, and I wasn't happy with that. I did call Hudson. They gave me some suggestions. Like I said, anytime I've called Hudson, they've been right on the ball, no problem, answer my questions as best they can. All right, so the second thing I did, or the third thing I did on this mill, was I built my own dog. And what this dog is for right here is when I'm cutting slabs. In other words, this slab right here, if it was a little wider, it could have been a board. So you have to stand that slab up so that the saw can cut the edges off of this on both sides and make a board. Well, I couldn't get the board square against the knees because the dogs moving with the knees wouldn't allow it. So before I rearranged the dogs the way I did with the round pipes on the square tubing, I built this to press the boards against the knees in the center, and it seemed to help. And what I've learned in the course of sawing, this is my first band mill. I had a big circle mill years ago, but you leave a cant that's 3 inches thick still on the mill, and then you can put your boards up against it and clamp them with the log dogs, and it'll hold them steady against that cant and keep them straight, so you can edge the boards a lot better. But like I said, the mill, other than a few little things that I've changed myself, this mill is built tough. It's built like a tank. I am very satisfied with it. I'm very happy with dealing with Hudson. They've been great people to deal with, and I think they build a fantastic saw. So that's my opinion on the saw right now at 10,000 board feet. I'm happy with it. Plenty of power. It's doing what I ask. Other than everything being manual, I mean, you can go $40,000 and buy a hydraulic mill that rolls the logs and has the hydraulic dogs and puts the logs on the mill, but for what I paid for this mill, I am ecstatic with it, and I'm making some money with it, and I'm going to be able to add a little bit of income to my retirement when I retire, and that's the whole purpose of this venture. Alright guys, so I give the Hudson HFE30 Homesteader an A. Like I said, I have not used a band mill before, but my experience, first time using a band mill, I'm not saying I haven't been around band mills. There's people I know that have band mills and use them all the time. And my opinion of this mill is I've been very happy with it. So if you're interested in a sawmill that can get it done and cut wide boards, 33-inch wide cant on this is not a problem, contact Hudson and inquire, okay? All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We appreciate everybody that follows us. Click on that subscribe button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right. To the next log. We'll catch you later.